Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the DreamHack Dallas Halo 3 Grassroots Tournament. Before the break, we saw the rise and fall of falling esports, but the question, Lethal, is whether they're going to rise once again or fall to the likes of Reciprocity. We are in our loser bracket final. I'm really excited for this matchup. I think this is going to be a really exciting time for falling. If they can come back from this and bounce back once again, they're going to take down the guys who reverse swept them yesterday. And it's not nice being reverse swept, is it?
Well, it's not on my bucket list, I'm not going to lie. It's not my cup of tea, but, you know, they did get reverse swept. That's fair enough. You know, Fallen did play well, but, you know, they were a little bit sloppy just because they felt like they were already first in their group anyway. So I'll kind of give that a miss for now. But Fallen, they played really well in that last series, considering the circumstances. Every game was close. I felt like it could have gone either way. But Reciprocity have shown up very hard today. Like, every single player is going off, and it's completely different from what we've seen from day 1 and 2. So this should be, again, another close series.
Well, I'm going to open up our desk once more because I have 2 special guests joining me again. Wonderboy and T2, welcome back to the desk.
Thanks.
What an incredible series we saw against Tox and Falling Esports. Any comments about what you saw?
I mean, I think they set the precedent in game number 1 where it went to 27 minutes. I mean, that's, for a pit flag game, that goes on forever. I mean, like, when you think about pit flag and it goes to sudden death, often you'll see the deadlock broken within like a couple of minutes, maybe 6 or 7 minutes max, but 27 minutes long. That's a grueling affair.
That was a series in itself.
It was a marathon series.
That was amazing, honestly. That's what Halo 3 should be, and that's how I wish every series would be when I would watch. But that just goes to show how bad these teams want it and how close they were matched, how evenly they were matched. What I'm wondering is, Reciprocity going to come and take advantage of Falling Esports mentality right now? Are they a little bit tired? Are they worn out from that long series? I guess we're going to find out.
Indeed, and then you can argue with the fact that maybe Reciprocity, they haven't been as warm as they potentially could have. I mean, Falling have just come out of a really hot off the mark series against Tox, and it's whether or not Reciprocity have their hand warmers ready, because they're going to need some. It was a long series. They have got plenty of practice. They know what mistakes they're making, and they could have that edge on Rec right now.
It's possible, but Rec have just played 2 pairs to 5s as well, which means they're quite warm anyway from the previous series, and they've been looking very strong. Of course, we saw that 3-0 earlier, then the 3-1. So, you know, I think they're just as prepared as Falling are at the moment. The only difference is Falling probably had a harder matchup at the time, so they're more aware of those high-tier players compared to what Reciprocity is used to at the moment. It will come to game types again, from what we mentioned before. I think it's going to be like that with every match now leading up to the grand finals. But, you know, we've seen some incredible stuff, some great coordination, some strategy, a couple of new kinks here and there, from what I've noticed, which has really, really helped each game we've seen. But Reciprocity now, you know, they stepped up more and more, but now this is where they need to be at the top of their game, because I've been nothing but impressed with what I've seen from Fallen so far.
Absolutely. Wonderboy, who would you like to see in the grand final?
You can't ask me that.
Go
I'm supposed to be unbiased.
Why not?
I think it would be great if we saw either of these 2 teams. I'm going to sit firmly on the fence, purely because what we just saw in the winners final, if we get a rematch of that, it's going to be fantastic. I mean, those 2 fought tooth and nail every single game of that 6-game series, and it could potentially have gone, I mean, it could have been 4-0 to Falling based on how close the games were, but also could have gone to a game 7 all the way. So I would like to see that rematch, but then also you still have that Tox Rec rivalry. You still have the amazing storyline of the Reciprocity losers bracket run, and the way that they got knocked down into winners bracket from winners bracket, excuse me, by Tox in the first round and made it potentially all the way to the finals. So I think it's good storylines either way. You can't ask me who I want to see though. That's unfair. Come on, I'm trying to be unbiased up here.
It's not about being biased or unbiased up here. We're just saying what we think could potentially happen. Who do you guys at home want to see in the grand final? Just let us know right now in the chat. Hashtag your favorite team that you want to see be going against Tox later on. But we need to look at the elimination bracket, because as Harry explained, things have been going on to get to this point, and I want to update you guys at home right now. Reciprocity had to beat Denial in order to get here, and yes, they did. I actually spoke to Lunchbox earlier on, and he said actually it was a pretty close game for them.
It was.
You're agreeing with me, T2.
Yeah, so they just got slobbered in game 1, Onslaught Flag. And then in game number 2, 50-49, that one went over to Reciprocity. It could have went either way. The Lunchbox was no shields. He was P3. He got an assassination on the straight stick over there. And that could have been 2-0 in favor of Denial. You don't know what happens after that. But I got to say, like Wonderboy brought up, all the players that need to step up have. Pistola's good to go. Lunchbox is ready. Roy's focused. Snipedown's good. And I know that you were talking about Lethal. Are they a little bit unwarmed? They were eating Dallas, Texas barbecue back there, you know, just chilling, loving the little break. Honestly, they were loving it. They were having some laughs back there, and they said that it was a nice little break for them. So they're going to come back focused and ready to go.
And looking at these two rosters neck to neck, and we have spoken about them before because we've seen them play together before. But right now, for me, Reciprocity, the level that they have on their roster, the veterans and the duo of Roy and Lunch together, for me, that is just going to come together. And I think it'll be harmony for them against this falling roster. I think Tox have kind of damaged them enough right now that as a team, I just don't think that they can gel together enough. Coming into a loser bracket final with this high pressure situation, I feel like the team that is gelled together the most will handle that situation the best.
Well, the pros at the end of the day, especially at this high level, I'm sure numerous times they've managed to reset their mentality in this kind of state. They've played in plenty of grand finals, losers finals, winners finals, and they know what the kind of circumstances are for each time. You take it one game at a time, not the series. You know, okay, they can be a little bit distraught, you know, a little bit of stamina here and there, but both teams have roughly played the same games considering the two series which have actually gone on so far. But Reciprocity, you know, I've been very impressed with them today. If it was a day one or day two Reciprocity, I would be a little bit worried, but, you know, in this series, I wouldn't be surprised if we went to a game 6 or 7 here.
Sorry to cut you off there,
Go
Letty,
on,
but
you can do it.
I'm really intrigued, and it's going to be intriguing to see the result of the Twitch chat vote in terms of who they want to see this series, you know, advance to the grand finals, because we have obviously Rec fan favourites played so well. They've been doing this in an elimination bracket run. They've had to play GMS. They've had to play Falling in their group, who they're now going to rematch up against. They've had to play Infinite in the lower bracket and Denial, and have passed most tests so far. But Falling in the previous series, I feel like against Tox definitely won a lot of fans. Definitely that raises their stocks a little bit, because as I said before, they potentially could have won that series. There were minute mistakes, and not even mistakes really, just great plays from Tox. Lethal especially. You think about that game 1 where he gets that incredible double just to swing the momentum and prevent the flag capture coming in from Falling, which could have been the game ender. So yeah, I want to know which way the Twitch chat is kind of aligning themselves, because you asked me who I want to see in the final. I'm going with Twitch chat. Okay, whatever Twitch chat says is my opinion.
That's
for
your
once.
opinion.
Such a bandwagoner.
For once.
Yeah.
Just wants everyone to like him.
You're such a teacher's
Now
pet.
I don't like you because of that.
I just want friends, man.
Such a teacher's pet. Well, gentlemen, you're going to be casting this game shortly, so I think we should have a look at our series layout right now, and that might help you at home decide who you want to go with as well. So here we go, best of 7 yet again. Capture the flag, Naros to start with, Slayer on the pit, Oddball on Guardian, capture the flag on Onslaught, Slayer on Heretic, capture the flag on the pit, and to finish it all off, if it goes the length, Slayer on Narrows. Now, capture the flag, Narrows to start with. I did say this before and I argued it with you, Wonderboy, with Reciprocity, Snipe Down picking up that sniper, and it did go in their favour. He was looking absolutely phenomenal. He looks like he's having a day at home right now.
Absolutely, and that was one of our big questions of Reciprocity, whether or not they were going to fix the Narrows woes that they had from yesterday. And Snipe Down, when he gets on a heater with that snipe, as you saw against Infinite, it led to them getting 2 back-to-back caps. The game was tied at 1-1. As soon as the Snipe Down gets himself a snipe and pops some heads, it's easy for the rest of the team to roam forward. So if you're Falling, you want to shut him down early on in this series. Game 1, Narrows, if you let Snipe Down go on fire, they're probably going to come out with the win. So shut him down early and prevent the rest of the Reciprocity team, you know, feeding off of that. I think that's a win condition for them.
Well, Wonderboy, we're going to have your prediction up shortly, because we're going to have a look at what you guys have decided for your winners at home. Let's have a look at what you said. Wow. Well, I guess you're a Rec fan right now, Wonderboy.
Okay.
Because
That's surprising. I'm quite
really
surprised. I thought it'd be like
between-
55-45, you know, that kind of scale.
I thought it would be a lot
Considering
closer.
what we saw in that last series, I really did. I thought we'd be seeing a lot of a closer margin there, but apparently
go
not.
Rec pack.
Reciprocity. We've got a big Rec pack in the chat apparently, so that's awesome. Gentlemen, I think we're pretty much ready to go, so please enjoy this losers bracket final.
Well, if it's anything like the winners bracket final, Tom, I think we're in for an absolute treat. We have Reciprocity. Their elimination bracket run continues. Will this be the end of the road, or will they take down Falling Esports, who just fell to Tox Gaming in the winners final? It's an intriguing affair. Where are your allegiances in this one? Where are you swinging? Obviously, we've seen the game types. Game 1's going to be flag on Narrows. Pistola earlier was playing great. Do you think he continues that form, and do you think we see potentially a Rec win here in game 1?
It's going to be tough to say. I think the most important thing is whose shot's going to be warmed up, because we've had quite some time in between breaks here. It's been about maybe 20 minutes since someone's pulled the trigger on their controller. So maybe you got to take a little bit to, get the jitters out. The first minute or two could be shaky, or you may see something similar to the previous series where it was just non-stop flag caps for Reciprocity. So we're going to find out very soon, and I think it's coming down to, like you were talking about, that Frosty versus Snipe Down battle with the sniper rifle is going to be very interesting. CTF Narrows, though, losers bracket finals here at DreamHack Dallas, getting this one underway with Snipe Down, making his way over towards the lobby, chucking a couple grenades over towards L2, but the charge coming in from Ace and Neighbor finishing up the kill. That's what you want to do if you're falling. Get that sniper out of Snipe Down's hands immediately, and a quick flag pull to boot.
Yeah, should be a capture as well. As long as Eco can put this rocket into use and get himself at least a kill, that's going to lock down the low side of the map, and should be easy for Neighbor to put the flag home. There's a kill from Eco there with the rockets, and within 40 seconds of this game, number one, we have a flag capture on the board from Falling. Great precision there from Eco just to grab the rockets and then explode some of the Rec Pack players, and it's first blood to Falling Esports. Great start.
Wow, no shields right there, but still challenges and gets the headshot there. Nice snipe from Roy. Ace, he's kind of looking for the weapons as well. Drops his Mauler for the sniper rifle, trying to land the no-scope on a Snipe Down, but Snipe Down, oh, not so fast, Mr. Snipe Down. Ace says no. Great little no-scope there, but you're seeing people get their faces ripped off left and right. That's why it's so important to lock down that initial sniper rifle for your team. But the advantage going on over to Falling Esports. And Wonderboy, I gotta say, from that series previously where it was Falling Esports against Tox, I'm surprised to see Falling Esports continue to fight as hard as they did. The first two games that they lost were absolutely heartbreaking. That 28-minute game on CTF Pit, and then 50-49 in game two. They continued to push the envelope, and you thought maybe they'd be a little disheartened after losing the series, but that's not the case. No excuses here for these guys, as Roy with the nice shots on a Neighbor.
I mean, you can look at it two ways, right? Yeah, you just lost a series that maybe you could have won, and it was a long, grueling one, but at the same time, that kind of series can prove to yourselves that you can compete with the best. Tox Gaming, waiting in the grand finals for one of these two teams, have been there, done that in the past, and look to do it here again in Dallas. Snipe Down trying to run a flag. New snipes coming up in around 20 seconds time. So important to get slays around this time of the map if you are both teams. Neighbor will fall. Ace here. Now trying to find a couple of the Rec Pack players. One of them is lifting. Trying to see who that is. That's Lunchbox actually. So Lunchbox's entire mission right there as he trades with Frosty was to try and put some pressure on the enemy sniper so Snipe Down can maybe get a head start on scoping out some of these angles.
This is a good opportunity to run this one power up. You could take this one Snipe since you have the support there, but Roy could just get escorted by Snipe Down if he's able to pull this one and then maybe man cannon it over. Rockets popping up here in 10 seconds. It looks like he's just going to leave Roy to fight his own battle over there against Neighbor, and Eco finds a kill onto him. That was 3 dead temporarily as Pistola was the last guy alive. Falling Esports in a great position to set up for these rockets here. Neighbor holding down his R1, looking for people going over towards L2, finds Pistola right there, and the rockets did pop, so he's just going to continue to lay down fire on the bottom of the map as someone's going to come on Falling Esports and scoop those up here fairly soon. So nice positioning there for Falling, and Reciprocity needs to make sure that they're adding shots onto Neighbor so they can back him off. They do at least take away half of his shields and man cannon a guy over for distraction, but it looks like a nice double kill from Ace. Should secure the rockets here, but it looks like nobody went for him. Lunchbox instead going to grab the rockets and take down Ace.
That's surprising to me that Reciprocity are able to come out of that situation with the rockets. Snipe Down has a sniper, as does Neighbor. So it's an old school battle right here. Oh, unfortunate bloodshot right there. Looked like that one should have connected. But we go again. If you Snipe Down, no scope, not connecting on Eco, but they do have rockets and a flag on the move. Eco is cleaned up by Pistola, and now a chance for a flag run. Smartly dropping the flag off here to Pistola, so Lunchbox can watch those low angles and maybe even gravitate to the lobby side here just to kill some of the advancing Falling Esports players.
Looks like Lunchbox is going to stay low here just to secure that one. Now he's going to push top after he gets information. Nice job wasting that second rocket so they don't have any of the ammo left in there. And there it is, Reciprocity tying this game up 1-1. Only took them 5 minutes to make that little comeback there. Not too shabby. They did it with some really nice positioning, and you never want to go all 4 dead that quickly. No staggered spawns there, no one to shoot the flag guy, no one to take down the priority kills on the map. Nice snipe onto Eco for snipe down. No bloodshot there. 2 dead for Falling Esports, and now you have snipe down in the pocket laying down fire with his BR. The spawner is going to pop up over towards the back flag, so they're going to have to back down. They also have to worry about Pistola, who's flanked down over towards the power-up area as Ace gets taken down with the snipe, but Neighbor's there to help. The shot's coming in. Nice out BR there for Neighbor. Not needing a sniper there for the killing spree, a snipe down, but that's going to get ended there. Killjoy for Eco.
Speaking of snipers, dropping right now. So Roy here has a couple of decisions to make. Does he push back, trade off Frosty? That's what he does. Or does he try and prevent Ace grabbing his own sniper? We've seen in the past Ace popping off with this weapon. So many great snipers on the side of Falling Esports. It doesn't really matter who grabs the power weapon. They're all going to put it into play. The Reciprocity sniper there actually naded over by snipe down. I like that little adjustment just in case you think Ace is still sat on his own side, hard scope and that, pre-aiming it. Why not nade it towards you and make yourself that much more difficult to kill?
Throughout all this, Roy has flanked over towards the base, and that's why you see Eco going back. Nice grenade there is going to take him down. Has multiple players making their way from cannon side snipe. That should give away a lot of information to Falling Esports and allow them to advance on the map as Frosty picks up a kill. Sniper battle going down between Eco and Snipe Down. Frosty picked up a double throughout all that, but he gets answered out by Roy. Advantage going on over to Falling, but just temporarily as Roy finds a clutch double off of the respawn. Now it's up to Eco here to try to stay alive with the sniper as you see tons of red X's popping up, but the spawn coming up over towards top center and a double kill coming in from Snipe Down. This is not what you want to do here. You want to try to stay alive if you're Fallen Esports. Try to double team Snipe Down. Fortunately, he only has 1 shot left.
Great timing on the kills there from Reciprocity because Rockets popped up around 20 seconds ago. So now Lunchbox. We saw this before with their own capture where he did have the Rockets and passed the flag off to Pistola. They were able to run it very, very well, and Lunchbox was able to get kills with this weapon. But Eco going for the re. Double for Lunchbox, but a quick forward ed for just a moment there for Reciprocity, and Falling Esports already have their flag across the halfway line. Rockets still in play as well, but they only care about the flag as of right now. Can they stop it? Looks like it's going home from Neighbor. No, stopped on the line. We'll see if Rec is in position. Eco's trying to push through lobby, but is hit by a nade. Is there anyone there? Frosty with a triple. That should be the capture right there. Well played from Frosty.
Frosty was looking for the overkill, but Lunchbox shuts that down, and Frosty not only trying to get the overkill, but knows that if he challenges just for a second extra, that's going to secure the capture there for his team. Sometimes you want to trade your life just to make sure that you're getting that flag capture here at the tournament. It's so important to make sure that you're escorting the flag guy back or at least laying down the cover fire, and that's exactly what Frosty did. So 2-1 in favor of Falling Esports, but we've seen Reciprocity make comebacks before. Pistola over here trying to do some work. We know how clutch he was in the previous series for these guys in the beginning of Narrow CTF. Let's see how his mid-game goes, but they predict him very easily. Eco with the pre-grenade. Multiple players playing defense. That was 2 players on the flag and 1 player down low. Nasty double kill, double headshot coming in from Snipe down there. Looking for some more blood. You see 2 X's on his team, so he has to just make sure that he's working together with Ola, who's over towards top center. And that's the beauty of top center control, guys. When you have the 2 players on the bottom of the map for Fallen Esports and your 2 players are on the top of the map, you're going to spawn there right at your Mohawk, which is extremely important for these guys because then they don't have to take 5 or 6 seconds to charge over from the back cannon or flag side. Looks like the Brown Twins are going to pull this one down towards bottom center. Pistola there to help as well, but you got to be careful. They gave up control. This could end up in a counter cap if they're not careful.
Yeah, the issue is when you are playing up top as Reciprocity were and you leave those players down low, there is the opportunity to flank. I believe it was Ace and one other just flanking behind the Reciprocity players, and Neighbor was able to get the return on the Reciprocity side of the map. So interesting phase of the game right now. In around 20 or so seconds, the next rocket launcher will appear. Eco has a sniper, gets 1 headshot and is looking for more.
Yeah, you see Lunchbox trying to do the sneaky jump over towards top center. Nice kill there for Ace. Eco staying over towards the ledge here, trying to be as annoying as possible. This flag is past the 50-yard line. Fallen Esports so close to putting this one in. A nice pre-grenade over towards the cannon side. Neighbor not fumbling this one. Easy capture there. Fallen Esports making it look simple. They're coming out hot. They're fired up from that previous series, Wonderboy. Think they want to make it back to the finals against Tox. What do you say?
I think they want revenge, and I think that they certainly believe if they do get there, they can do it. We'll take a look at the stats. Looking like Some big assists on the side of Falling Esports, and that was the difference maker. Lots of kills going down, and Eco actually with a standout performance there. We saw him a couple of times with the sniper rifle on top middle, finding a couple of heads. And yes, on the other side you have Snipe Down with a +4 spread with the most assists, but you did enough to shut him down. Roy with a bit of a disappointing -6, but in the end, the stats don't matter. The only stat that counts is the flag captures on the board, and Rec ultimately will be disappointed with that.
It's weird to only get outslayed by 2, but yet lose by 2 flag captures. That game didn't really seem that close, to be honest. It seemed like Fallen Esports knew exactly what they wanted to do off the beginning strategy to get that early 1-0 lead. Yeah, it gets countered about 5 minutes into the game there for Reciprocity, but I didn't see as much pressure as I was expecting from Reciprocity there. Maybe that just wasn't their game type, or Falling Esports, we know how ridiculous they're playing because of the way that they were able to put up such a good series against Hawks. So overall, the teamwork is flowing right now on the Fallen Esports side. They're all fist bumps and, you know, tons of energy coming out from these guys on the communication. I didn't see any slip-ups coming in. Nobody got shot at without shooting back. Everyone was looking in the right spots. Everyone was, you know, playing well with the weapons. The objective efficiency was perfect. When they needed to go and they needed to flank and distract on their side of the map, they did so. When they needed to play defense, they did that as well. So just a great overall team effort there from Fallen Esports. Now we move into game number 2, Slayer Pit. What do you think, Wonderboy?
I think you're absolutely right in that there was a danger for Falling Esports to maybe have a little bit of rust on the sticks. As weird as it sounds, when you have just played such a grueling series, it can be difficult for you to shake off the rust of the previous one and the disappointment of the loss, but that game 1 win will give them certainly masses of confidence knowing they can win here in Slayer Pit. We have 2 snipes on the map. We have the rocket launcher in the green hall as well as that custom power-up coming up every 2 minutes under bridge. Coaches here going to be vastly important to make sure you have the timing on that. Often we see low flanks with the custom be the difference maker here on the pit top.
No doubt, and you bring up a good point. The coaches are extremely important in this situation because sometimes you don't want to call out if you don't know exactly when that time is. So if the enemy team picks it up, you got to just be honest with these guys and say, hey, I actually don't know when it is. It's around this time, though. And we'll see what happens off of the rip in terms of the weapons. You have Snipe Down picking up the sniper rifle. You have Lunchbox with the rockets. Meanwhile, Frosty has his own sniper rifle as he's going and looking, trying to find that 1v1 with Snipe Down.
Often you'll see Pit Slayer as Frosty takes off Roy's face. Slow right the way down, and Reciprocity, being the experienced roster they are, will no doubt be happy to do so. But it's an interesting sniper battle we have. Both snipers on each other's towers at the moment, but Frosty playing the more passive of the two, I suppose you could argue. Actively looking for angles. Lunchbox elsewhere, still locking down Greenbox here with rockets. He could be a key player. If Frosty gets a sniper shot on his head, that will be rockets in favor of Falling. But look at this, the flank from Pistola to take down Frosty, and immediate pressure. And now Vola survives. He's a real problem on the map and even picks up Ace as well.
This is what Ola has to do. He has to play sneaky. He has to try to stay alive, buy his teammates time. Now Snipe Down should be able to push up a little bit with the sniper rifle. Roy's already over towards the green box. You see him pick up a kill on Frosty, trying to get help over towards the camo side. Meanwhile, Snipe Down, he got weakened, so he had to back off over towards the bridge side to his training, and now made his way over towards the long haul side. You can see Ace is on the bridge side as well, so we'll see what happens over here. As now you have a push coming in from Snipe Down. He flanked around here as Frosty is now looking over towards the sword. So the map kind of flipped right now for a couple of these players as Overshield's coming up. This is a really good spot to hold. Both courtyards isn't bad because now you know that they're not coming from the training side and runway side and under bridge, as you can try to secure this one and then maybe make your way over towards the enemy snipe.
Yeah, you're right. Not a bad place to hold at all, especially when Custom is coming up. Snipe Down trying to push down runway. Not sure if there was a burn on the Custom. We'll see. Frosty is on it, but I believe he did get the burn. So no Custom in play for now, just Eco with the sniper. Next port of call is going to be the sniper rifles dropping at both S1s within the next few seconds. Neighbor on another flank, trying to take down Lunchbox. And Neighbor here, he has 2 choices. He can either pressure the S2 and look for spawners, or he can just circle back, make sure he takes down Pistola, and maybe even pick up his new sniper. I'm not sure who actually has that now for Falling Esports. I think it is still Eco And Frosty actually is going to go grab the fresh sniper. Meanwhile, on the Reciprocity side, you have Snipe down with one as well. The question is now, what's the fight going to be over at green? Rockets dropping around now. You hear the team fight going in. All 3 members of Reciprocity, apart from Snipe down, pushing that green box. So when you look at the numbers game, it's going to be Rockets in the hands of Reciprocity, and it is so. Lunchbox grabs those ones.
Great job from Reciprocity right there. It's insane to think that they had 3 people there. You could have maybe flanked around if you were following Esports, but that's the last thing you're expecting. You're like, all right, I see 1 set of grenades coming in. All right, guys, I see 2 set of grenades. All right, never mind. Their whole team's there.
Yep. It's an airstrike, but I suppose when you do have Snipe down on your own platform watching your back, you're pretty confident they're not going to be coming from any angles, right?
Yeah, and I love watching this snipe duel between Frosty and Snipe down. It's always so intense. Who's going to take the right angles? Who's going to pull the trigger quicker? Keep in mind, you still do have Eco with 1 shot that's sitting behind Frosty. As soon as he shoots that one, he's probably going to go and take a different spot, though, as they're just slow playing this one, as they should. Yes, 4 minutes into this game and only about 25 kills overall. 28 kills as we take a look at the score. Overshield popping up. It was burned last time, as you said, Wonderboy. Looking at the positioning right now of all the players, I got to give the advantage on over Falling Esports, but keep in mind, Lunchbox with those rockets could rotate at any time, and that's exactly what he does.
Yep, into Sword with the rockets, and looking across our screens as to what's happening with the power-up. It is the Wizard to grab full. I did wonder whether or not Frosty missing a couple of those shots, or was it Eco, excuse me. Either way, whoever didn't tag Pistolo when he was pushing under bridge would have allowed him to get the advanced position on the power-up, and that's been the catalyst now for Lunchbox to push forward. But, well, as long as Frosty has a sniper, it's going to be difficult for you to do that. New snipers popping up in around 15 seconds.
Yeah, and Frosty is playing this game very passive, but there's nothing wrong with that. Because if you're hitting your snipe shots and Reciprocity is going to dare to peek on certain angles, that's how Pit Slayer's played in a tournament setting. So another round of snipers here coming up at that 9:52 mark, and you still have a couple of shots here. If you're Frosty, the interesting decision is, do you stack the ammo? And that's what he does. Ace not going to pick that one up. Instead, he's going to leave it on over to Frosty. Meanwhile, you have Neighbor over there trying to get some help from Eco over towards the long haul as well. So they're just locking this side of the map down as Ace takes a body shot there, but doesn't matter. Still takes down Snipe down. That has to be frustrating for Snipe down. No one there to help support him. Instead, his sniper gets taken by his teammate. Roy going to find a kill there onto Frosty. It was him who picked up the sniper, and then Snipe down, fortunately for him, gets that flag spawn and helps clean up over there. So great teamwork and aggressive play coming out as Roy, maybe him getting the sniper wasn't too bad of an idea. 3 kills in a row for him.
10 seconds, just over actually, for the next rocket launcher. So that's where we're going to see these players move over to next. It was Reciprocity who grabbed them last, but don't forget we have custom power-up coming up just after it as well. This 9-minute mark in the game, Tom, so crucial. If you can get rockets and custom at the same time, it can really help you spring into a lead. Just 20 kills apiece so far in this Pit Slayer. Very low scoring, but both of these teams know what's at stake. Looks like Ace is primed and ready for the custom. Frosty has a sniper as well, which is always dangerous.
So you're right, Ace did pick up that overshield right around that 40-second mark or so. Not sure what the exact time was, and he elects to flank immediately. Melee not going to land. The stick hits from Roy. Think you'll take that if you're Roy. Yes, you do lose out on your killing spree there, but it doesn't really matter. Taking down the overshield guy when you're about to get assassinated is a huge play. If he had overshield sniper on top of that S2, you're looking at Fallen Esports starting to charge. Frosty gets on the bridge with the sniper. Multiple people charge over towards green and long. And now Rocket's going to go on over to Fallen Esports as well. Eco has those. And Frosty, again, nothing wrong with this play. Just sitting back, trying to take your angles, looking for players to peek.
Ace will be frustrated. Obviously did get the lunge, but no beatdown connecting. That's something that has happened so often in previous Halos. I mean, you think back to Halo 2, Tom, you know, you could lunge from a mile away, but just because you're lunging at someone doesn't mean the beatdown's going to connect, right?
Definitely, and you see the 1-kill lead here for Reciprocity, but it doesn't really mean much when you don't have the rockets and the sniper rifle in your hands. So I'd give advantage right now on over to Falling Esports just based on the map positioning they have. They're going to have to do something with these rockets, though, and you know Reciprocity is not going to give any more free kills. They've given away maybe 3 or 4 snipe shots on over to Frosty that they probably wish that they had back at this point, and if that was the case, they'd be up around 5. Eco has wasted 2 of those rockets, unfortunately, for Falling Esports, but they still do have solid control as Frosty has a sniper rifle, Ace has a sniper rifle, Eco has rockets. The only player without a weapon on their team would be Neighbor.
Sorry, Mason. And he actually gets sniped by Snipe Down. He's being chased right now by Eco. And if you're Eco, do you overextend for this kill maybe? Just taking the sniper out of his hand instead?
It's too late now.
Yeah, it's too late. New custom coming up soon. It was Ace to grab the last one. We'll see if he can do it once again. Frosty still with the sniper. Versus Snipe Down, and Snipe Down will win the fight.
He knew he lost that as soon as he didn't have his reticle in the right spot, so he tried to bail and jump, get around the corner. Snipe Down taking advantage of that, but what a grenade coming in from Neighbor as Lunchbox finds a kill to answer. Big fight happening on over towards the training side as Ace finds one onto Roy. You can see Neighbor just waiting for that player to lift up that he thinks is going to grab the sniper rifle and come around from that angle. But you have a nice little trade of kills for Lunchbox on the training side. Frosty a little bit overextended there. Tons of ammo here for Neighbor. This could be his opportunity to do something. Rockets, I believe, were dirtied by about 30-40 seconds here, so don't expect those to pop up until around 5:10. The game's still going to slow down. We may not even get to 50, Wonderboy, honestly.
I was wondering that. Biggest kill lead that I think I've seen in this game has been 3. Could be mistaken.
Yeah, this game has been extremely tight right from the get-go.
Very slow pit slayer, both these teams. Just playing a game of attrition and trying to outfox one another. Neighbor has a sniper, but the big fight right now is in the green box. As you said, rockets should be around 30 seconds delayed. And Reciprocity and Falling both know this. Roy taken down by Eco, and we'll see who else is there to fight for rockets. Frosty's come over, they're called for reinforcements. Lunchbox forced to back down, but has some nice shots on Frosty. Elsewhere, Eco's thinking about a flank maybe. Throwing the nades will give his position away, so might just back off. And these rockets are so delayed that this team fight in green has been going on for so long. Falling Esports grabbing the lead, and also you got to think about custom overshield coming up pretty soon.
No doubt. I believe that Lunchbox had the time on the rockets, and yeah, you could see Falling knew around what time they were, but didn't have the exact
That was by like
on
a minute.
there. So that was a lot later than we were expecting. So we thought around 5:10. Those dropped around like 4:50, 4:45. Neighbor down at the Neighbor spot, that runway area to secure the power up there for Eco. Now he's starting to push, and this is what you want to see if you're a Falling Esports fan. Start to advance on the map now that you have the advantages. Neighbor unfortunately gets taken out by Roy. Nice double kill and lands the double shot there onto the overshield player. Big plays from Roy.
Just when you thought Falling Esports were in a prime position to extend the lead and finally pull away in this game. And Pit Slayer, this is just game 2 of this series as Ace has a snipe as well. Roy shuts them down, but Ace, he's got something to say about it. 2-point lead now, could be 3, and it is. But it's traded once again. Snipe Down has a snipe, and if Ace hits that shot, that would have been huge, but a very tight game. Might just see this slow down here once again as we still have rockets, or the singular rocket, I should say, in the hands of Neighbor. And he's just holding this angle, Tom, just expecting Snipe Down maybe to advance on the map, right?
Very safe spot to be if you're Neighbor. You're not really in any risk of, getting hit from any angles. No one's coming from behind. This is a perfect spot to be in right now, and kind of want to peek to check above to see if anyone's on that ledge, but instead he gets the information that Roy's down below him. Yes, that player was no shield, but you better be safe than sorry. He's going to rocket that player there with the 2-kill lead as Snipe Down finds the cleanup there, and you can see him just waiting possibly to pick up another sniper rifle. Maybe there was one down on the runway, but he has to be careful. Ace is in the vicinity as well, and it's interesting. I thought Ace was going to continue to play pretty hyper-aggressive as he was on over towards the bridge side, maybe like try to jump banana or try to take some unorthodox aggressive angles while a lot of players like Frosty were sitting over towards the S2. But he's going to play it safe. Frosty rotates on over towards the sword. Snipe Down says hello. The kill coming in does weaken Snipe Down, however, with a couple of shots and half a grenade. It's all about this custom power-up. Rockets and nades
Ace
coming in. Nice shots from Ace. 3-kill lead. Could be the swing that Falling Esports needed.
That could be the play. I was going to say Rockets usually up around the 2:52 mark, but we know they're delayed by around a minute. Eco trying to push forward by himself. That's not going to get it done. Is there a trade to come in here from Ace? Ace versus Snipe Down. Smartly backing up, still has a couple of bullets. Could potentially be 2 kills here for Ace. We know what he's like, but look at this. Snipe down. He has no idea. Bit of a rough grenade, and he turns on Neighbor, and now Pistola's here for help as well. He gets the kill on Pistola. That's pretty okay there if you're Neighbor, and now just 2 points.
Pretty okay.
Pretty okay. I wasn't going to say a good play, but probably the best of a bad situation. But
is this Towie? No, it's Snipe down. We have another juggler here, as he's going to bring the Rockets all the way back, 49-46. This is a very tense game. Curious to see if they're going to either try to go for a pick on the side of Falling Esports, or are they going to maybe go for a push?
Time's a big
minute
factor.
and 25 seconds. They really don't have to push here. They could try to play the clock. We were wondering if this one is going to hit 50. Looks like that will be the case for either team here, depending on who's going to win. And I love this angle from Frosty.
I love this too. Very far away, quite safe. I also saw Eco posted up quite far at the back of the map. So even if 3 of his teammates die, he'll be far away from danger. Pistola with rockets, kills Frosty. No deaths allowed here from Reciprocity. Neighbor found on the training. Pistola cannot die here. He has no shields, and he will be taken down.
What a shot from Neighbor.
Game 2 in favor of Falling Esports. So close, so tight for the whole game. But that double from Ace, right as the custom overshield was coming up, is the difference maker.
Yeah, Neighbor really squeezing out that shot, that last shot on the sword guy. And don't forget about that flank that he had that was almost botched. So just a fantastic job, complete team effort there from Falling Esports. They're now up in the series 2-0, but keep in mind this is a best of 7. Still plenty of games to be played, at least 2 more left. Taking a look at the stats there, not the game that you wanted to see from Pistola, but I'm sure that he's going to bounce back here very shortly. But I got to say, this series is going about how I expected if Falling Esports was playing how they were against Tox. Reciprocity has to get it going here. They got to start firing up. I was talking to them backstage. They said that they're playing the best when they're screaming, getting loud. You haven't really heard anyone trash talking. Maybe after a sick out BR or something like that, or a big play, you're going to see these guys get angry again, and they're going to have to, because now their back's against the wall.
That's what they need. A lot of Reciprocity fans in the crowd here.
Now look at this beautiful crowd.
What a great
Wave
crowd.
to the camera, everybody. Hi.
Hi. Tuning in for some tremendous Halo 3 action. What a time to be alive. In 2019, of all years, Halo 3 on.
It's 2019?
What are you checking your
Where
watch?
have I been?
You don't even have a watch.
I know. Why you gotta...
Sorry. Sorry.
I don't
This
like
doesn't even
things.
work,
I don't like
by the
things
way.
on me.
Yeah. Too much information. Series layout, best of 7. First 2 games going in favor of Falling. Now, Oddball Guardian. We saw Reciprocity really struggle with this game type when they played yesterday against Tox in the winners bracket. We'll see if they've worked on today the mistakes that they made in that one. And they're going to need to. Otherwise, they're going to find themselves 3-0 down. Don't forget, these 2 teams actually have matched up before in group play, where Falling Esports went 2-0 up. So we've been in this situation before.
They got reverse swept.
But reverse sweep came in from Reciprocity, 3 games straight, and it all started with a long time-based game type like Guardian, Oddball, Sniper in play, Camouflage every 2 minutes as well. This is a fun one and a very important game in terms of Reciprocity's ambitions and, well, really their tournament life here at DreamHack Dallas.
Neighbor looks like he's going to push over towards bottom center, aggressive play. Saved a grenade as well. Going to take out, I believe, Roy to get on over towards gold and try to throw a little bit of a distraction off, as he's now going to rotate over towards green with the ball. I like this play as Frosty has the sniper rifle. Nice little setup for Falling Esports to begin this one. I like to see Frosty try to stay alive as long as possible here with this sniper rifle. You don't want to take too much damage on the players that are jumping top center. He doesn't have that much support either, so unfortunately gets taken out. He could have even ran away under glass with that one, but just not enough team help on the top of the map, and Reciprocity really adding pressure.
Good opening minute here for Reciprocity. You have Pistola with the sniper. Ball in the hands of Roy down on the elbow, so he's going to be watching down low here for Pistola to just do as best he can to try and pick some faces, and rightly so from Falling Esports, slowing it down, just waiting for all the spawners to come up on the map. Yes, Reciprocity are getting time right now, but do you want to push and break this setup? You got to do it together, and Neighbor there is flirting with a dangerous Pistola here with Snipe, not connecting on any no-scopes though, so Ace will take him down. Play ball will come in from Lunchbox, and good break there from Falling Esports. They were patient, and it paid off.
That was a great play ball from Lunchbox because he didn't just toss the ball off. He went under the ledge, he jumped into the air, held onto it the entire time, and then the ball decided to drop. And that extra second or two that Lunchbox bought ended up stopping Falling Esports from going from the ball, Wonderboy.
Nice kill for Frosty onto Roy. That's going to allow Neighbor now to push to the ball. He's going to get away with that one. Ace will take down Lunchbox, and good map presence here. Honestly, Roy will take down Frosty, but this is a big fight here. Ace against Roy. Roy is our boy. New camouflage coming up in the next 10 seconds, and with all of Falling Esports dead, you've got to say Reciprocity in a better position to pick that one up.
Yeah, you have Lunchbox with a great flake coming over towards bottom gold. He's going to take out Neighbor. Meanwhile, Pistola holding the ball bottom green, trying to milk as much time as possible as Snipedown has made his way over towards bottom blue in the snipe lift area. Probably could rotate any time now because he does have a player that's weak next to him. Instead, he's going to elect to go for the trade over towards the lift onto Neighbor. Sniper did just pop up. Lunchbox going for the ball. Unfortunately, no one to be found on his team there, so now stuck spawning bottom green, not where you want to be, is a couple players taken down to no shields, and you do have another flank coming in from Neighbor over towards the camo side. Easy double for him. Should be about time for Falling Esports to go for that ball.
Shame that Lunchbox died with the ball just before dropping it down to bottom gold, because that forced Reciprocity with the green spawn, but credit to Eco. He knew exactly where they were going to spawn. Lunchbox will survive the first shot while regaining his shields, but not the second.
This can be such a powerful setup if Eco's able to stay alive. Neighbor has the ball over towards bottom blue. You can literally force spawn everybody bottom green at this point, but Eco just not able to live. The player charges over towards S3. Pistola charging in as well, going to take that sniper rifle out of their hands. Nice teamwork coming in as Ola just looking left and right. No shields players everywhere, and now he's taken down to no shields, and a couple of pre-grenades to guess where the angles are going to come from. Takes out Frosty. Great job trading his life there from Ola.
Good job by both sides, honestly. We saw earlier on Falling Esports biding their time, allowing Reciprocity to get 20 or so seconds, but it was just that, just 20 seconds. Same things just happened for Reciprocity, and took their time, grouped up, pushed over, and forced the play ball. So pretty much even, 2-point advantage now for Reciprocity. New camouflage coming up soon. It was actually Ace from Falling Esports to grab the last one. You can see on the service tags, he's at bottom gold at the moment, so might be in a prime position to grab that one, but you can see Frosty knows camo coming up soon. He needs to pressure that area. There you go, it pops up. It is Ace to get his second camo in a row, and we'll see what he can do with this one.
I like the play from Ace to go top center, but he gets taken down to no shields. Is going to have to strong side out of there. Does manage to live, but let's see if he gets over towards the ball. Is he going to toss this one over to his teammate? Most likely should, as Snipedown made his way over towards S2. Frosty didn't even know he was there. Very unselfish play from Ace, but not sure if it was the right team play overall, as he's going to lose that camo. Pistola is going to take over sniper rifle control, and now advantage to Reciprocity as they're going for the bottom green setup. Someone's still alive down there. 2 players alive down there. They had no idea that Neighbor was in the vicinity. I believe that was Eco as well. Now Neighbor unfortunately gets cleaned up across the map. Could have been a nice little chunk of time there for Falling Esports.
I was going to say, if your Neighbor, maybe if you hold that ball on the camo lift there, you get a couple of seconds of time, I should say, while Frosty's pushing over the top. But either way, 6-point lead now in favor of Frosty and Falling Esports. So Sniper should have been up by now, so we'll see where that one is. Meanwhile, Lunchbox flanking the green players, double for him, and that's going to allow his twin brother Roy to bring this ball over the green. Yes, he goes down, but still advantage Reciprocity. I want to know where the sniper is, Tom. I'm thinking it's in Snipedown's hands, and it most certainly is.
Looking for the no-scope, but Eco gets hit with a grenade, and Snipedown wasn't ready to line that one up as he went a lot higher than he was expecting. Lunchbox finds a nice little double kill. Good grenade on over to Frosty to weaken him. I gotta say, though, there was a very nice play ball from Frosty earlier, about a minute ago, that stopped Reciprocity from being able to have complete control. Just a small little reset like that can make a world of differences. You're right, Wonder Boy have Sniper in Snipe Down's hands, but he's not able to connect on the headshots as he usually does. He's going to rotate over here, and this should force the spawns either bottom gold or potentially bottom green. Could have sniped his teammate there as Roy's going to die with the ball. Snipe Down going to hold this just for a couple of seconds and probably toss this one off here very shortly. Has two players located on the snipe side, and there it is. Smart play ball. Frosty no shields down there. Should get cleaned up any second, but does a fantastic job of living overall as Snipe Down has to call that one out and then overextends as Neighbor gets the cleanup. Nobody able to get serious footing here. Anytime that there's been some sort of setup, an aggressive play coming out from the enemy team. Neighbor going for the ball with camo, trying to be sneaky. Not going to happen.
Heads up play from Lunchbox to take down Neighbor with that camouflage, as you said, preventing Falling Esports potentially starting to get some time. That was a very late camouflage again from Neighbor. That was around the 25-second mark. He picked that one up. So keep in mind later on in the game, Pistola smartly just going to play that ball, knowing the numbers advantage is in favor of the enemy team. And with Reciprocity all here at Sniper Tower, they need to push out and get some more control on the map. Do you agree? Because right now they're a little bit bunched up, and you can see Lunchbox trying to push out their bottom middle. It's a big fight against Eco that he wins, which is going to give them a bit more territory on the map.
I agree. I'm just astonished at how low scoring this game is. 45-40. What is this, a Slayer? This isn't an oddball score. We're 8 minutes into this game, and we've only seen the ball held for about 1 minute and 20 seconds overall. So great job on the defense side from both teams. You can see every time they try to get the ball, they just die right in that same spot, trying to rotate it over towards bottom green. This is going to come down to probably one major setup there, Wonder Boy, or a sneaky ball rotation. That's usually how these Guardian oddball games go when it's so low scoring.
We've seen 2 setups so far. This could have been the 3rd from Reciprocity, but somehow elsewhere Falling Esports have the ball. They've gotten that one off, and Neighbor now has a sniper and a triple, looking for the 4th. Doesn't quite know where it is though. So 3 for Neighbor. There's the 4th. Finally, Roy goes down, and now all of Rec on spawn, trying to push bottom middle quickly, trying to catch Falling Esports on the rotation and in the transition. But this is where Reciprocity need to be careful. We saw earlier on in the game when Falling had a setup, they took their time and broke it together. They can't afford to push one by one, especially while you have, well, Neighbor with snipe and Eco with camo.
This is the best opportunity for a setup that we've seen thus far in this game. Is Eco, nice job holding top green with this camouflage, but he gets taken out so quickly. That kind of falls on the rest of the players from Falling Esports, not able to spot those players as they advance that far. If you have camo sitting up there, you're expecting someone to call that out, but he would not have challenged if he had that information. Unfortunate for Eco, but you do have some nice cover support coming in with Neighbor from the sniper. If they're able to stay alive and get these guys bottom green, they should be able to milk a lot more time.
Big credit to Ace off of our screens. With the ball right now, Eco's cleaning up players, but just when Reciprocity did as I was asking and pushing together to break the setup, they got taken down, and Ace was in a prime position, top middle, already anticipating his teammates' play ball to pick it up again and get an extra 20 seconds. So Rec then had to regroup again off spawn, and it allowed more ball time to come in for Falling Esports. So great play from Ace, and now we're going to see a first substantial lead of the game for either team, and now the pressure on Reciprocity here in game number 3. Don't forget, 2-0 down in the series so far in the Elimination Bracket Final.
One setup, 40 seconds, not bad. That's about 2 different rotations of the spawns coming in. But when you're looking at such a low-scoring game, that 40 seconds is enormous. They doubled up what they previously had. And we were, again, looking at about 10 minutes into the game. So great job there, as you said, from Ace with the rotations of the ball. Solid snipe there from Frosty coming in as Roy did take out his teammate. Ooh. Now Snipe Down was looking for blood, but Frosty with the killing spree. Pistola with the detonate, at least able to get that one from the grave. But the damage has been done, the ball's been rotated, and if Neighbor's able to keep his shields here, that should be another 5 to 10 seconds easily.
Eco watching the top middle push here from Rec. Might start getting a little desperate soon. Lifts the ball with himself.
He really wanted to play that one as well.
Yeah, I think that's what he was trying to do, but Pistola will be caught from behind. Play ball comes in from Ace before he goes down. So Reciprocity really struggling. They haven't put anything together in quite some time, and Frosty has regained his sniper. Neighbor is picking up kills. Ace chimes in as well. Neighbor with another. So last alive now is Lunchbox over at gold. He's taken down, and this should be another chunk of time going in favor of Falling Esports.
Not looking good right now for Reciprocity. You're down 2-0 in the series. You have 3.5 minutes here to make up this 60-second differential. Every second matters so much for Falling Esports right now. If they're able to hold this setup like they did previously for another 40 seconds or so, that could basically secure them this 3-0 lead here. As Lunchbox, he's chucking a couple of plasma grenades, trying to get a stick onto Frosty. Snipe down, he gets taken out. That's not gonna look good for Reciprocity fans, as Frosty finds another double kill and is really starting to heat up. Says that he's shooting so well that I don't want to even grab this ball, someone else take it. He just touches it so it resets. And now they're just going to continue to slay out as Ace, he grabs the ball. He's watching under glass. He's also watching a little bit of top center and open blue as Eco made his way over towards the camouflage. Nice kill onto Lunchbox. Does get traded out, and time is running out here, Wonderboy, for Reciprocity.
Over a minute is the lead now for Falling Esports, and how many times have we seen just one player going off over at Sniper Tower, take over a game on Guardian? The ball is not played. Eco grabs a new camouflage, but it'll be interesting to see whereabouts on the map that ball is. Pistola will grab some time, but is just going to play it, and they're going to know about Eco over here at gold, Tom. They need to remember the fact he has camouflage and try and take him down as soon as possible, but to be honest with you, they need to do everything as soon as possible because time, like you said, is ticking away here in Game 3.
I don't want to be the bearer of bad news for Reciprocity fans, but I just don't think it's going to happen. What makes you think in the last 2 minutes that you're magically going to create some formula unless Wonderboy's cast a spell on you? It's just not going to happen. You have 52 seconds and you've been playing this game type for 12 minutes now, 13 minutes now. That's not very typical for Reciprocity. They're used to putting up 250, winning the game, 150 minimum, but 53 seconds, this is such a low scoring game. You got to give it to Falling Esports for just never allowing the ball guy to get away. Always taking him down before he gets to the bottom green. Great camo rotations, and now Ace holding this one over towards top gold. That's gonna do it. Mathematically eliminated from this game is Reciprocity. Falling Esports gonna go up in this series 3-0. They're one game away from potentially going back to face Tox in the grand finals. Keep in mind that if they do win this one, they have to beat Tox in 2 best-of-7s because they're coming from the lower bracket. So Tox sitting pretty, just saw Snakebite grab his backpack and go over to warm up. So he's getting ready and focused. He's probably thinking this is going to be a 4-0 here for Fallen Esports. And Wonderboy, I got to say, they are playing fantastic right now. Yes, Reciprocity probably not playing up to the standard that they wanted. This series not over yet, but they're going to have to turn it around, and they're going to have to turn it around fast.
They're looking like a top-tier outfit right now. Unbelievable, considering how little practice this roster has, how big their ceiling is. Coming into this weekend, we were speaking about Falling Esports' honeymoon phase and whether or not that might carry out throughout the entire weekend, and so far it's shown that it has. Game 3 goes their way. We'll take a look at the stats as soon as possible, and, well, guess who's returned to the Halo game to dominate, not only in winners finals, but in the losers final as well. It's Frosty with another plus 13. He did it in a Slayer in the winners final against Tox, and now he's here in the elimination final, doing it on an objective game mode.
It's no coincidence that you see Frosty going positive 13, who's been the main Slayer, and then Snipedown, meanwhile, goes negative 11 there, because that's just what happens when you're not able to play your game. You weren't able to have your teammates there with the objective. You weren't able to secure the sniper rifle. You weren't able to get the mauler or the camo. So now you're kind of stuck playing around in a situation that you're used to, yeah, but it's not ideal in terms of your winning conditions, as Clutch always talks about. So I'm looking for them to bounce back. They will have a little bit of a break here in between game number 3 and game number 4 for them to talk about things. And we saw them do a reverse sweep previously against that same team. Yes, it was a 2-0 at that point. They won 3 in a row, but something feels a little bit different about this Falling Esports team. I feel like they're just playing at a really high level right now.
They really are. Been so impressed. Can't speak enough about how impressed I've been from Falling Esports. And you took the words out of my mouth about the reverse sweep potential. I know it was just 2-0 before, but maybe Rec are just waiting for the reverse sweep. And worth noting, what was it, 86% of the Twitch chat thinking Rec Pack were going to win. Sorry, guys. Doesn't look like it's going to happen. I think we're going to take a very quick break here at DreamHack Dallas while these guys settle themselves down and make sure everything is tickety-boo before we get into Game 4 of the Elimination Bracket Finals. Don't go anywhere. after the game against Infinite, Snipedown was here on the desk and spoke about leaving a legacy in Halo 3 MCC. They find themselves a hole in this losers bracket final. They're down 3-0. Welcome back to DreamHack Dallas, the Halo 3 MCC grassroots tournaments. How do Rec get themselves out of this hole that they find themselves in? I mean,
start slapping each other.
They gotta wake up
a little bit
or something.
Start headbutting each other, you know, like
they're not on the same page.
They're not on the same page, unfortunately, but I think it's just because Falling Esports is playing out of their minds. I'm curious to see, like, is this how they were playing against Tox, or are they playing better now? Because they're just on fire. Absolutely everything that they're doing is perfect. Frosty's fitting in so well to this team. He's playing so passive, but it doesn't matter. It doesn't, affect the team at all because it's the best thing that he can be doing because everyone else is filling the lanes and pushing up for him. He can literally just sit there and focus on the weapons and the slays.
And that's the beauty of having a player like Eco on your team. You can feel like on any other team, if you are overslaying or maybe focusing on kills too much, that might be wasted potential on your team. But because you have Eco watching the wider picture, you can just let Frosty run rampant on the map. And that's what Falling Esports have done so far this tournament. I mean, you look at their progression from groups 2 and 1. They have fought all the way through to the winners bracket final. Unfortunately lost against Tox, but some very close games. And they're one game away from getting that matchup again. And I think it's looking more than likely they're going to do it.
I think so. It looks like we're going to do a hard reset on the Xboxes for the players, which I'm always for. Why not? Right. Maybe, if you're Reciprocity, try to just buy a little time here, try to have a little bit of a breather.
Maybe use that as a mental reset as well.
Use it as a mental reset, and also just talk about what you're going to do in this game. Talk about what you're going to do off the beginning strategy. There's always maybe like 2 or 3 key points and elements that you want to hammer home, and I'm not sure what it is with the Reciprocity team where they just look so amazing and then they just look so flat at certain times. I think it's all about communication and getting hype from these guys, and as I was saying, we heard them screaming against Denial, just on fire, destroying people when there are no shields. It doesn't have to happen when you're no shields. It doesn't have to happen on the sickest snipe in the world, but maybe if you get a halfway decent snipe, you still scream, get your team fired up, make it seem like it was sick. They're going to need to do something like that because it's been all Falling Esports. I haven't seen anything that shows me that they're going to be able to win this series on the Reciprocity side. I hope that I'm eating my words, but I think this could end up at a 4-0. If they do win this game, I will start getting hope back because we have seen the reverse sweeps in the past from these guys, and we know, just like as you were saying in the interview with Snipedown, they want to build a legacy here. Hey, what's up, crowd?
Look at this crowd.
How you guys doing? Yeah.
Doing okay?
Get off your phones!
Come on. They're probably in Twitch chat spamming memes. I'm going to have to come and ban you guys afterwards. But the question is, do Reciprocity have what it takes to, as Snipedown was talking about, reinstate their legacy? Remember, this is the South by Southwest Invitational winning roster we have here on the brink of elimination out in top 3. We saw it so often with this roster as well back in Halo 5, where towards the end of the game, or towards the end of Halo 5 seasons, I should say, they almost found themselves stuck at a barrier outside of the top 3 looking in, or couldn't get past that 3rd place. This exact series right here, the Elimination Bracket Finals, maybe it's like that meme, the GTA meme. Here we go again. I didn't use the swear word, but it's like that old meme. Maybe they're thinking, here we are again, struggling in an elimination bracket final. Do you think? Well, I mean, what do you contribute?
I don't think it's that. I just think I look at remember in Guardian Ball when Pistola was S2 and he missed 4 no scopes in a row on the guy that was S2 as well. I think it was Ace. That's not characteristic from a player like Ola. He's going to usually lay down at least 1, maybe 2 of those no-scopes and maybe try to go for a melee as well. You have to hit those shots in this losers bracket finals because we're seeing some sick sniping going from everybody, right? So you're going to have to be hitting the shots that you maybe, know you could hit, but that are those montage-style shots. That's bringing your A game. That's what we're seeing from Falling Esports. We're not seeing that from Reciprocity. I think that we're seeing around a C, B game at best from these guys.
certainly not living up to their potential, while these players are just resetting their Xboxes and making sure everything's fine up there on the stage. Let's recap the series so far and take a look at our series layout. The first 3 games, as you said, for Falling Esports, they were hitting some great shots. I mean, you think back to capture the flag on Narrows, Eco top middle going off with Snipe, and Slayer Pit. You had, well, tremendous work from the entire team. You just need to see that once more here on Onslaught Flag, and you're going back to the grand finals to face off against Tox. It's looking likely.
CTF Onslaught, I believe, is the game that they lost horribly. Reciprocity did against Denial in the previous series. They said they just got completely destroyed.
If you think back to when they played Tox as well in the winners bracket round 1, they should have won that game as well.
The thing is about Onslaught CTF is this could be an opportunity to re-warm up your shot right now if you're Reciprocity. Maybe you get a really good beginning start and you start spawn trapping, you start getting momentum, you start feeling good. It's only going to take 1 game to get back in this one if you're Rec. So we know what the Twitch chat wanted. We knew that they were cheering here for Reciprocity. Maybe they can get some Rec logos in the chat to try to support their team. Ace, he gets taken off at the beginning. Roy, he gets taken out. Lunchbox as well. So Eco with the double kill to start, and now a heavy push on the B side for Falling Esports.
Nice double from Eco to start off Onslaught, capture the flag. 5 flags to win. Just your BRs. There is that Mauler bottom middle, but not often you'll see that put into play. Reciprocity are on the warpath right now, and they smell blood. Roy, smartly here, is going to try and transition to top middle. Key fight against Eco. He actually has Pistola to help him out. So, more slays here need to come in because the spawns are a little staggered and they don't want to overextend themselves. Nice double there from Pistola. He needs to turn up in this game 4 for me, Tom, for them to have a real fighting chance of extending this series.
I'm going back and thinking that this was a Rona reset. 1000% Rona going for the Xbox reset because he got the 1 bloodshot. He's trying to get into the Falling Esports enemy team's head here by buying some time, and why not? I think that's the right play. Set a breather, call a timeout. It's possible here in these long 7-game series, but they're gonna have to perform and they're gonna have to do it now as they're down 3-0 in this series. You see Pistola staying alive with a fantastic grenade there onto Frosty, also avoiding a grenade at the same time. Another one whizzes past him, but Neighbor's gonna fly up, and you see a betrayal there from Roy onto Snipe down. So this seems to be that type of series here for Reciprocity. Unfortunately, things not going their way so far.
The Rona reset not doing Roy any favors, or Snipe down any favors either. Speaking of which, he goes down to the hands of Ace. 2 in a row now for Aaron Elam, and can transition to top middle here too. And top middle on Onslaught, when you're putting down fantastic shots like he was just then on, well, not only Lunch, but Roy as well, can be so difficult for Rec. Double from Neighbor. Ace here with top middle control can sniff out the flanker, and he even takes him down too with some fantastic shots. Now you've got to find the spawn, maybe transition into the flag here, as Roy's trying to push out to bottom middle, but good control on the map, and Slays coming in as well now for Falling Esports. This could be a flag run pretty soon.
And if you guys aren't familiar with the strategy for Onslaught CTF, maybe you're new to Halo 3 and you joined up in the later Halos, it's a very fast-paced game type. It's hard to go on any type of major killing sprees or running riots or any type of long spree. It's just kind of unheard of here. So don't be surprised to see players just dropping left and right. Hard to get momentum, but once you do get on that spawn trap, it's virtually impossible to get out of at this type of level here in the losers bracket final. So that's why you're seeing teams just straight kills left and right. The ideal setup here would be to get on both of the enemy team's boxes. You spawn trap them down towards that dumpster area. They spawn in the corner and down below that and over towards the tunnel. Sometimes they'll spawn on the flag, but the 2 most popular spawns are right near that dumpster and above that dumpster, as you see Ace and the rest of his teammates there, Neighbor as well. So the higher you get, if you go over towards top center or go onto those boxes, the more difficult it is for the enemy team to hit the shots off the spawn. So now you're seeing Eco run this flag bottom center because of some great shots from the Falling Esports side. He's got to already pass the 50-yard line, going up his stairs, and the first capture going to go on over to Falling.
First capture after an opening segment of the game, which was pretty scrappy and some territorial battles traded back and forth, but it's Falling Esports who continue their dominance in this series with the first flag cap. Sight down almost getting turned on there, but will be taken down. Ace here putting great shots. And one thing I've noticed, every time we go into a falling esports member, they're always looking at a call out from their teammates. They're always trying to put damage down. And on a map like Onslaught, where you can see and shoot cross map, if your shot is good enough, it could be tricky for the other enemy team really to even get off spawn.
They really found their groove, and I can't remember if it was Ace who said, we're continuing to learn as a team as this event goes on, series by series, game by game. And maybe that's why they just continue to get better and better. Just fantastic series so far as they're gonna just slay out here over towards the Reciprocity side and tie this one up. Finally some momentum going on over to the Rec Pack here as Snip3down locking down top center. Exactly what we were talking about, those spawns over towards the dumpster side, sometimes over towards the tunnel. And now you have staggered spawns, 3 dead. Eco trying to make his way on over towards the flag. You know if you slam out on the A side that they're most likely gonna spawn B, but it looks like somebody influenced the spawns with a grenade, and now they get those split spawns. So fortunately for Falling Esports, they're gonna get out of that spawn trap, but Snip3down still alive over here, bottom center.
Yeah, very fortunate. That spawn trap threatened to be a back-to-back play, a 2-for-1 flag opportunity for Reciprocity, but the spawns helping them out that time around. Roy's going to be absolutely melted. Snip3down, Pistola all weak. 4 down for Reciprocity. Ace can run the flag. Eco can stay in the base and spawn kill, checking out these A spawns. Flag is a little bit slow to run, but as long as they have pressure and they find these spawns early, like Eco and Neighbor are doing, that should be an easy cap, and it is. 2 players alive for Rec, but 2 caps on the board for Falling.
One of the most important things that you can do in this game type is decide whether you're going to go back for the guy on your flag or you're going to try to flank around. 95% of the time, you want to go and get the guy out of your base. A flank really doesn't work here because you can get collapsed on so quickly. It's such a small map. You have to make sure that you're clearing out your base instantly, and that's exactly what Snip3down did. Smart play, even though they did get the flag capture on Falling Esports side. Reciprocity just retook control immediately. They cleared out their base, and Snip3down gonna tie this game up.
This is the first Onslaught flag game I've seen at this tournament where we've really actually even seen any spawn kills whatsoever. So coming in from both teams, by the way. Double for Pistola, the spree as well. So 2 doubles and a single will be 5 in a row, make that 6 on Eco. And now smells these A spawns. That nade's gonna make A spawn all the way out, and thought he might be flanking under A, but they're gonna push back and clear their own base, which is the smart thing to do. But Snip3down's in there causing havoc. Roy's pinning back spawners, but Neighbor with a triple.
Wow.
Will clear all the Reciprocity members out and allow his spawners to come up on the map and push right back at Reciprocity.
Nice play from Neighbor, but that just goes to show how important control is. Yes, you did get that triple kill, but since you had to clear out your base, that allows enough time for the Reciprocity members to spawn up, and you still haven't even had an opportunity to push on over to the base. Yes, it was Ace that made his way over there, but that's only 1 player. It's going to be so hard for just 1 person to take over that side of the map, as you do have a flank coming in from Pistola. Has shots onto Frosty. Gets fairly weak there. Unfortunately, not the shots that you're looking for Ola. Frosty doing a nice job turning around and laying down some damage. Roy's going to find Neighbor down towards bottom center, but nobody making their way over towards the top quite yet. Whoever's going to be able to push over there from the sides is going to have an advantage here.
It's a better game from what I've seen so far from Pistola. Struggled early on in this series to make those flanks effective and impact the game, but he's finding some success here on Onslaught. That's the 4th or 5th time in a row, make it 6 now for me, that I've seen Pistola actually behind the Falling Esports team, and he's in a prime position to run the flag. They'll be blocking these A spawns, and they should be looking for spawners right here. I know they want to kill Eco, but if they actually push out, they could have potentially stopped the flag. But for the first time in the game, Reciprocity, they gain the lead.
Nice job from Reciprocity, and you're right. That's with Ola coming around and flanking, running that flag. And if you can flank at the right time and your teammates get the slays, that's the perfect scenario, because you don't want to be in that situation like Falling Esports was earlier, where you get Neighbor with the triple kill, but yet you don't have anybody on the enemy side. So fantastic job from Reciprocity, not giving up, not giving in here, trying to fight back. They have to put a couple more flag captures on the board, though, because we've seen nothing but answer after answer from Falling Esports all series long.
Yeah, they've been trading blows and trading flag captures and flag runs in this one. Lunchbox might just succumb to the pressure of the grenade, will eventually die, and Snip3down goes down as well. 4 dead. Neighbor looking for these spawns and can't quite see the spawns from this angle, and is even leaving the corner spawns open, whether or not that was intentional. Either way, it's worked out. 2 more players ahead of him, but he's killed 2 already. The flag's gone in, so 3-3. Neighbor finally taken out, but still pressure on the map thanks to the double. And oh no, staggered spawns for Reciprocity. Poor Pistola. All he can do is try and extend his life and give his spawner some time, but
good job by Ola. I mean, he did his job, really. He wasted 2 grenades there from Eco. He wasn't in the best position. Probably the worst spot that you could be in this game type, spawning over towards the dumpster with a guy top center and another guy flanking towards your flag. But one of the things that is huge is that Roy got a kill throughout all that, and then Ola bought about 3 or 4 seconds. So we've seen how many times a flag has gone onto the actual stand here and not get captured. That's about a half a second difference, and they just bought 3 seconds. However, throughout all of that, Fallen Esports still able to get it together, and now they're 1 flag capture away from facing Tox Gaming in this grand finals.
4th flag goes in, run by Eco, who was already on a spree. Reciprocity on life support, and Falling Esports on series point. Can't afford any more mistakes if you're Reciprocity. And Neighbor, I gotta say, so many times in the past we've seen him, think back in the 2009, 2010 seasons, back in the MLG days, where he would throw that flag out and then just continue to spawn kill. He's been a nuisance that Reciprocity have struggled to deal with, and now he's going for it once again.
Nice shot there from Neighbor. Pistola had the first couple on him, but he was no shield. Snipe down, answering that right back. That's a little bit of a head glitch spot there that Neighbor was taking, so good job from Snipe down to make sure that he had the clean shots to get that kill, clearing out the base. Ace starting to push in now. Pistola has been in this position a couple times, and Roy as well, and it's because of those staggered spawns, as you mentioned, Wonder Boy, not able to get the flag tossed up over towards the window. Instead, he's gonna fall right there. You gotta do everything that you can if you're Reciprocity to stop this one. This could be the last flag cap for Falling Esports. Snipe down, making his way over towards the base. He's on the flag, He didn't get the return. It looks like it's going in. Neighbor with the flag cap, just a sliver away there from getting the return. Snipe down with the right play. Did his best, but Neighbor coming in with the clutch. Falling Esports with a fantastic series. We thought that one was gonna be way closer. Falling Esports now against Tox Gaming in the grand finals. It will be a best of 7 to start, and then if Tox Gaming falls and Falling Esports wins, that would be a reset into the bracket as we take a look at the stats. Very even across the board. I almost want to say directly even when we look at those. 5-3 though was the final score, and that's just unfortunate for Reciprocity fans. Not the performance they were looking for in those loser finals.
Lackluster, didn't take a single game and never really showed up either. It's not the wreck that we saw to start the day when they 3-0 Infinite, when they 3-1 Denial. They look so good, they look on the same page, they're always working together and they're getting hyped. There was none of that in that series. It almost felt like they blew their gasket before the series even started, and maybe that's what happens when you have to go through that elimination bracket run. When you do match up against a team like Tox Gaming and winners round 1, you then are pretty much resigned to the fact you're going to have to go through the losers bracket unless you take them down there and then. So Reciprocity out in 3rd place. Twitch chat, you were wrong.
They were wrong, and we talked about it beforehand. They can't bring their B or C game, and they did. And Falling Esports brought their A game. They've been bringing it all day, really. You just saw how they were playing against Tox. Tox is up there in the grand finals for a reason, because they are looking like the best team here, and now we know for sure who our 2 best teams here are in Dallas.
Absolutely. So, Lottie, Harry, that was a bit of an anticlimactic series, really, wasn't it? I mean, we thought Reciprocity might bring some form of fire thanks to their momentum, but really it was nothing.
No, it really was. I mean, I'm actually quite shocked. Watching that for me was kind of uncomfortable, just in terms of how Reciprocity just couldn't seem to find any control anywhere. Nothing was really going their way, and the slaying power coming from that falling roster was huge for them as well. They were just denying everything that Reciprocity wanted to set up. And talking of setups, we want to talk about Guardian Ball right now, Lethal, because Falling have such an unusual but powerful way of playing that objective game, and they have 3 setups, don't they?
Yes, they do, yeah. You know, a couple of them are actually quite common, but the one I wanted to point out was the one that S3 Snipe Lift camo in green. Now, it's a bit of a weird one because normally when you use your utility on blue window, when you go across, you always said someone like Eco is on that Snipe Lift. So if the S2 guy did get naded out in any way, shape or form, and he had the snipe, then he's still in safe, capable hands, because you've got players like Eco who will be at the Snipe Lift baiting, and then the S3 guy can still do the work he needs to be done top mid. Because of the geometry of the ramp, you know, you can only see part of his body actually going up, then it's still at a little bit of an advantage. And that's why they're so good at guarding ball. They have so many different setups, they're so aggressive with it. And I feel like any kind of small advantage they'd have, they'd just take advantage of it straight away. But I think it didn't really matter what game type it was going to be, because, you know, the word here is just inconsistency, and we just saw that throughout the whole series.
100%. Their capitalization on mistakes there was phenomenal, and you just can't doubt this Falling roster right now. They're looking on top form. Let's take a look at the bracket now, because I want to see where these guys have been and where they're about to go, because we all know where they're going, don't we? They're going to the grand final, of course. Now, this elimination bracket has been very, very difficult for Reciprocity. They found themselves in the open bracket to start with. They managed to get up to the winners bracket, then fell to Tox and come back down on a really, really difficult route for them. But you know, the ride is over. They fall to a squad of many, many talented players. And talking of talented players, we have one joining us on the desk right now.
It's wonderful. No, sorry.
Oh, Harry, you are wonderful anyway.
Thanks.
Don't worry about it. Ace, congratulations
Thank
on
you.
that series. Insane stuff there from you. I mean, looking at your roster right now, I feel like you are gelling together like we have seen you maybe for 20 years. You look like you have been playing all your lives together. Talk to me about how this chemistry is working for you.
It's really great so far. You know, we didn't really practice going into this tournament, and now I feel like we're really hitting our groove in terms of like what people need to be saying, who needs to be communicating when. You know, just we're on the same page now, at least that we were that series. And to be honest, that first series in the winners finals, it was very nearly us 4-0. I mean, if we won those first 2 games, that first game was my fault. We could have easily won that game. And yeah, so yeah, we're just gelling, and we're feeling good and confident and ready for the series.
Looking at the way that Reciprocity played that series against you guys, were you expecting them to be playing to that kind of standard, or did you think this was the Reciprocity you were expecting, or was it just down to what you guys were doing and how you were setting up the series?
I think it's mainly that how we were playing, because, you know, I think Rec was playing pretty good yesterday, but I thought, you know, I expected them to play even better today, and I think they were playing better today, to be honest. But like, we were just everything was perfect for us, you know, our communication and everything was just flowing perfectly. So that's how we won that, like that.
Fantastic. Gentlemen, do you have any questions for this man of the hour?
I guess the question is, how are you going to try and exploit some of Tox's weaknesses? Do they even have any weaknesses? Have you guys spoken about the rematch? I know you guys have just come off a series against Reciprocity and wanted to deal with that first, but how do you tackle this 2 best-of-7s? Well, potentially 2 best-of-7s now against Tox.
That's a good question. You know, you'd have to ask like Frosty something like that. You know, how to beat Tox, how to exploit their weaknesses. But you know, I think it's just taking it one game at a time. I think it's just really minimizing your mistakes. You know, like that series was very close. Like every single game was one small play, one small route, like of a difference. So it just comes down to, you know, playing your game over their game, I think.
Amazing stuff. Well, Ace, thank you so much. I'm going to let you get warm with your team after that amazing series. You must be very, very proud of how you guys are playing. So thank you so much for joining us. And we're going to take a quick break now, because I need one. I need to start chilling out a little bit. This series are getting the best of me, actually. They're getting the best of me. But when we are back, we're going to be watching a display of individual skill. And that is right, we've got the free-for-all final. We'll be back in just a minute.